If you're really serious about changing your life, do you know some of the things that you want to change about yourself? And if you do you know some of the patterns associated with wanting to change those traits of your personality? Because that's the hard question, and that's what you need to understand about yourself before you start making those pivotal changes within yourself. It's understanding the trauma that you hold within. Now, not all cycles and patterns and traits are associated with trauma, but all behaviour is learned from environment, and that behaviour is learned through a series of mechanisms, and that could be towards safety. A behaviour could be produced because of reward, or it could be produced because we want to impress our peers and the relationships that we hold. So when thinking about change and understanding what specific part of ourselves that we want to change to benefit the future version of ourselves, those are some of the questions that we have to ask. And by exploring that, we start to learn a lot more about why we behave in those ways. Take, for instance, being a child and keeping the peace because your parents' relationship is so chaotic that all you do is try to please your parents and not cause any more grief. That cycle will move into adulthood and look like people pleasing, and that has additional traits which are attached to it, such as perfectionism and validation seeking. And people pleasing is a form of manipulation in itself. Although it's not the toxic trait, it can be quite toxic towards yourself, because what you're doing is you're sacrificing self to gain validation, to fill yourself up. It can look like avoiding confrontation just to keep the peace. So you can see how those patterns within childhood that are learned continue on throughout adulthood. And it's that deep dive within yourself to try and understand yourself better. Because when you understand yourself better, that's going to give you a platform to start building the framework that you want to be guided by. And what I would say is really important is opening your mind and having that mental adaptability to different perspective, because different perspective is going to allow you to look at different people's point of view around a certain situation, and that is going to help you broaden your aspect and put you in different positions. And although you might not have lived that experience or that particular perspective, you have that kernel of truth that you could elicit from that perspective and understand why a person might think and act that way.